Why is Lambda, one of Shadow Garden's most respected commanders, so fiercely loyal to Shadow, Cid Kagenou? Unlike Alpha, Beta, or Delta, Lambda's devotion isn't built on admiration alone. It's rooted in faith, purpose, and the belief that Shadow is the one person capable of changing the world forever. In this deep character analysis, we'll uncover the true reasons behind Lambda's unwavering loyalty, her role as the instructor of Shadow Garden, and why she may be one of the few members who fully embraces Shadow's ideals without question. From her military mindset and disciplined personality to her willingness to sacrifice everything for Shadow's cause, Lambda represents a different kind of obsession, one based on conviction rather than emotion. We'll explore her psychology, her relationship with Shadow, and why she sees him as the ultimate leader. Spoilers for anime, manga, and light novel content. When fans talk about Shadow's most devoted followers, the conversation usually revolves around Alpha or Beta, maybe Delta. But hidden behind the legends of the Seven Shadows is a woman whose loyalty may actually be even more frightening, a commander, Cid, a warrior who has dedicated her entire life to Shadow's cause. That woman is Lambda. Unlike many members of Shadow Garden, Lambda isn't blinded by childish admiration. She isn't obsessed with stories. She isn't fascinated by mysteries. And she isn't chasing dreams. Instead, she believes completely, absolutely, without hesitation. In her eyes, Shadow isn't merely a powerful man. He's the leader humanity desperately needs. And that belief has transformed Lambda into one of the most loyal people in the entire organization. But why? Why would someone as disciplined and intelligent as Lambda devote herself so completely to one person? Today we're exploring the true reason behind Lambda's loyalty and why her devotion to Shadow may be one of the strongest forces inside Shadow Garden. Part 1. Was Lambda really? Before we discuss her obsession, we need to understand who Lambda is. Lambda isn't one of the original Seven Shadows, yet she occupies an incredibly important position within Shadow Garden. She serves as one of the organization's highest-ranking commanders and military instructors. Her responsibility isn't simply fighting enemies. She's responsible for creating warriors, training recruits, building discipline, maintaining standards, and preparing Shadow Garden for war. That role tells us everything we need to know about her personality. Lambda values strength, discipline, order, competence, results. She isn't impressed by empty words. She's impressed by actions, and that's exactly why Shadow had such a profound impact on her. Part 2. The leader she had been waiting for. Throughout history, powerful organizations rise and fall because of leadership. Lambda understands this better than anyone. A weak leader creates chaos. An arrogant leader creates failure. A selfish leader destroys loyalty. But Shadow was different. From the moment she learned about him, he seemed to embody everything a commander could ever want. Strength beyond imagination. Confidence without arrogance. A vision larger than himself. And most importantly, results. Every operation connected to Shadow succeeded. Every enemy who underestimated him fell. Every challenge that should have destroyed Shadow Garden somehow became another victory. To Lambda, these weren't coincidences. They were proof that Shadow possessed qualities no ordinary leader could match. And for someone who values competence above everything else, that realization was life-changing. Part 3. Shadow created purpose. One of the most powerful themes surrounding Lambda is purpose. Many soldiers spend their lives searching for something worth fighting for. A cause, a mission, a belief. Without purpose, discipline eventually fades. Without purpose, sacrifices become meaningless. But Shadow Garden gave Lambda purpose. More specifically, Shadow gave her purpose. He wasn't simply fighting enemies. He was fighting a hidden evil that threatened the world. He wasn't seeking power for personal gain, at least from Shadow Garden's perspective. He was waging war against darkness itself. For Lambda, this transformed every mission into something meaningful. Every training session mattered. Every sacrifice mattered. Every battle mattered. Because it was all connected to Shadow's vision. And people become incredibly loyal when they believe they're part of something greater than themselves. Part 4. Why Lambda's loyalty is different. Many Shadow Garden members are emotionally attached to Shadow. Lambda's devotion is different. It's ideological. She doesn't follow Shadow because she needs saving. She follows him because she believes in what he represents. To Lambda, Shadow represents perfection in leadership. The ideal commander, the ideal warrior, the ideal strategist. Imagine spending years studying warfare only to encounter someone who seems capable of achieving the impossible, someone whose victories defy logic, someone whose plans appear flawless. That person naturally becomes a role model, and that's exactly what happened with Lambda. Shadow became the standard by which she measures greatness. Part 5. The legend that inspires fear. Another reason Lambda admires Shadow is because of his presence. Think about every major Shadow appearance. He doesn't simply defeat enemies. He overwhelms them. He dominates entire battlefields. He appears when hope seems lost, then leaves without seeking recognition. For ordinary people, that's impressive. For soldiers, it's inspiring. Military leaders throughout history understand one truth. Morale wins wars, and nobody boosts morale like Shadow. His very existence motivates the people around him. When Shadow appears, fear disappears, doubt disappears, hesitation disappears. And Lambda witnesses that effect repeatedly. She sees how Shadow transforms people, how he inspires loyalty, how he creates legends, and she respects him even more because of it. Part 6. The irony of Cid Kagenou. Of course, there's one detail that makes this relationship hilarious. Cid has no idea. While Lambda views Shadow as the perfect commander, Cid is busy living out his eminence in Shadow fantasy. While Lambda studies his actions like military doctrine, Cid is mostly trying to look cool. While Lambda believes she's serving a visionary leader, Cid is improvising half the time. The irony is unbelievable. Yet every accidental success only strengthens Lambda's faith. Every coincidence becomes evidence of genius. Every victory becomes proof of leadership. Without realizing it, Cid continues creating loyal followers everywhere he goes. Part 7. Why Lambda would die for Shadow. This brings us to the most important question. Would Lambda sacrifice her life for Shadow? The answer is almost certainly yes. And not because she's reckless, not because she's emotional, but because she believes his survival is more important than her own. That's the ultimate form of loyalty. When someone becomes bigger than your personal interests, bigger than your fears, bigger than your life. Shadow has become that figure for Lambda. She sees him as the cornerstone of Shadow Garden, the foundation of everything they have built. Without him, the future she believes in might disappear. And that's why her loyalty runs so deep. Part 8. The most dangerous kind of devotion. There are many kinds of obsession: romantic obsession, hero worship, admiration, fascination. But Lambda's loyalty is something else entirely. It's conviction, the belief that one person is capable of changing the world. History has shown that people driven by conviction are often the most powerful followers, because conviction doesn't weaken. It doesn't disappear when things become difficult. It grows stronger. And that's exactly what makes Lambda such a formidable member of Shadow Garden. Her faith isn't based on emotions. It's based on certainty. And certainty creates unbreakable loyalty. Conclusion. At the end of the day, Lambda isn't obsessed with Shadow because she's infatuated with him. She isn't chasing romance. She isn't seeking approval. She's devoted to him because she sees him as the ultimate leader, the embodiment of everything she respects: strength, discipline, competence, vision, purpose. To Lambda, Shadow isn't merely a powerful man. He's proof that true leadership exists. And once someone discovers a leader they genuinely believe in, following them becomes easy, which is why Lambda's loyalty remains so strong. Because in her eyes, Shadow isn't just worth following. He's worth dedicating an entire life to. Narrator, final words. But what do you think? Is Lambda one of Shadow Garden's most loyal members? Or does someone else surpass her devotion to Shadow? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Eminence in Shadow, don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell for more character analyses and Shadow Garden lore. Until next time, true loyalty isn't born from fear, it's born from belief.